And we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist, and welcome to the Cubist. Oh, I said it in the wrong order. You can a little bit askew today. It's episode 10, so yay! And I'm going to do the second. But first, I want to give a quick disclaimer. So you may have caught last week, if you watched the Cubist, I said something about not being able to do the show because I was going to be traveling for business, and that is indeed the case. I am traveling for business. However, I found that I was able to get myself to a hotel room with at least a halfway decent internet connection, and so I thought, sure, I'd jump in. And that is the extent of the control that I have over this show. So in charge of tonight's episode of The Cubist is our oftentimes second chair and always internet celebrity, Kimberly Bullock. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi, Bill.
This is her fault tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have turned over the reins to the giggly one herself, who is going to make all the great noises into the mic. That was Carenza's fault.
Did you hear that? Is this thing on?
Shockingly enough, Carenza Morrow Kemp is with us as well, making all the weird Foley noises.
I just wanted to make sure you announced me second, that's all.
There was no doubt in my mind. And you needed to be second because I needed to be able to do the last without least, returning for, I think, his third episode. Is this the third time you've been on, or only the second? But that's what I thought. It's Jared Hunnefeld from Flip the... Hi, Jared.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome back, sir. It's going well. It's going well. Not have a couple other surprise guests over the span of the evening. We'll see how scheduling works out. When Kimberly's scheduling is will be put to the test over the span of this evening.
Kimberly doesn't know that person. That was Brandon.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, see how yeah, there you go. So the theme for tonight was theoretically going to be with a late or pajama party originally, right? Was the idea? That was how this started out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. This was going to be a big pajama party. And then Kimberly, well, why don't you tell the story? How did this happen? How did this all go down?
I believe I jokingly said we should have a pajama party while Bill's gone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brandon obliged. He cringed, so then we had to make that happen.
So therefore it needed to happen, of course.
Yeah.
and we ended up with what will be the topic. Let's see. The show is called After Midnight. We're going to let it all hang out. And so the idea is late night gaming. You didn't see that was the episode title?
I did not. Nope.
Yep. Hey, you know what? When you have a music guy running the podcast, you're going to get dumb music references that only sort of make sense. So there you go. We had to quote Clapton for tonight. So yes. So the idea is late night gaming, and the games that we tend to play late at night, either at a convention or at like late night family events, or just your game night when it goes long, or any of those things. So that's going to be our topic for the day. But yes, my kilt did have something to do with it, Wizard Matt, absolutely. But before we talk about my kilt or late nights in general, let's talk about stuff we've been playing. What have you guys been playing lately, Jared?
Me? I have a new baby. I have barely any time to do any gaming. But I will say the big game that I try and play as much as I can is Favor of the Pharaoh.
Ah, yes.
I have
Bezier games, right?
Exactly. I have loved that game, and it's really funny because I can get really lucky on my rolls at the beginning, and like I amass all these dice, and then I blow it in the final round, and I always lose, and it's so heartbreaking. So
to clarify for people that maybe haven't played before, it is effectively a re-implementation of a game called To Court the King, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
it was To Court the King originally from Rio Grande Games, I believe, and now now Bezier Games picked it up and gave it an actual theme, sort of.
Yeah, and for people that haven't played that, it's a lot like a more strategic Yahtzee, where you're trying to get 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind, or like 3 of a kind in 2 pairs, or a run of 5. to get cards that then give you either more dice or different abilities. And you're amassing all this until the end phase, where then you're just trying to get the highest Yahtzee number, like 12 sixes or something like that.
Sure.
And it's very nerve-wracking. And even though I lose every time I've played it, I want to play it more. I want to eventually earn that win.
That's awesome. It's so for those of you that maybe are watching later on the recorded YouTube and you don't catch the chat, it sort of the consensus that it's fun, but it's a little bit pricey. I don't remember what's the MSRP, and it's like $45, isn't it? Is it $40 game?
Yeah, it's pretty high. 45 or
I don't know.
I
I will tell you this: at Dice Tower Con, Professor Laserbooks scored a damaged copy of it from Cool Stuff Inc. for $25.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Although the box had to be completely replaced, but it was totally worth it.
Hey, I'm a Ding and Dent fan all day, man. I want the games to be played. I don't really care what the box looks like as long as the stuff inside works. So,
agreed.
All right, so Favor the Pharaoh. So for you, it's oh my God, you are a ridiculous person.
What just happened?
Carenza went to the bad place.
I didn't think it was that type of show.
Yes. It is when you're on, Carenza. This is...
I'm going to just drink some water to balance that out.
Yes. On the Cubist scale, Jared, buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
Oh, totally buy it.
Buy
it? Even if you've never played, advanced board games, I think it's a great gateway game. So it's almost an instant buy. It, as people have said, it is a little pricey. So if you can get it like through Amazon or, Ding and Dent, something like that, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Does Brandon have this one? Do we have this one?
I don't
know about this one.
I like that you think we would know your husband's board game collection better than you do. You're sitting there. Turn to your left, Carenza.
We have some back here, but we've also got 2 shelves in the other room and a table.
Yes.
And then other things.
Here's what I will say, Carenza. I thought I remembered seeing it at your house when I was there a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
But I don't. Okay. But I wouldn't swear by that.
Well, I remember Gabby playing Dominion with Brandon quite a bit, and she likes Yahtzee because Yahtzee. They should have named it Yahtzee, really.
Yes.
Dominion and Yahtzee, because the dice love her.
Oh, because she's just lucky in general.
Yeah, with the dice.
Gotcha.
So, like the Yahtzee Dominion combination would probably be good for her because she likes those. Might be a game that we could get her to sit down and play. I'll have to ask him if we have it.
Or just buy it. No big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Christmas.
Sure.
That's a thing.
Then buy it for so.
What's that?
Like that's the Captain Buys a Lot of Jefferson City, Missouri, as far as I can tell.
Yes. Well, probably of Missouri.
Of Missouri in general? No, because you have Geekway to the west. Yes. Because you have Geekway. But, all right. So, Favor the Pharaoh from Bezier Games, a definite buy it, according to Jared Hunnefeld.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Kimberly? You said something about that you had a specific game that you wanted to talk about.
I did. I'm kind of sort of prepared for once.
I'm excited. For that, if nothing else. I don't even care about the game at this point. I'm just excited that you know what you're going to talk about ahead of time.
I mean, like 10 minutes ahead of time. Don't get too excited.
Hey, that's ahead of time. At this point, I will take what I can get.
It's not me texting people and asking for help. Yeah.
There you go.
We played Dr. Eureka yesterday. It is a speed dexterity game. You're trying to transfer the little marbles into like tube to tube.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Without dropping them.
Does.
You get them in the correct pattern to match a card really quickly, and then you yell Eureka and take it. You start again. First to 5 cards wins. Easy breezy. It's probably a little bit hard for teeny tiny kid hands, but other than that, it's a great family game.
Just because of the physics of getting the test tubes are reasonably large, I gather.
They're not
hands, big hands. People with big hands
are problematic too. Yeah.
Shaky hands.
Or shaky hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are like 6 people that are going to be amazing at this game, and everybody else is going to struggle. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I got it. I'm good.
You're one of those 6 people because you have the perfect size hands. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just remember Kimberly is thoroughly biased when it comes to this review because she is genetically excellent at it.
I have teeny tiny hands. They smell like cabbage.
Mine don't smell like cabbage.
I have big meat hooks with bratwurst for fingers, so it probably would be the exact opposite of this. So, all right. So on the Cubist scale, Dr. Eureka, buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
Buy it. It's $20 MSRP. Great family game. Fun for people who don't play games.
Is it
pretty? See, I know that we have this one. It is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's got good table appeal, like the test tubes. Do they have like a little rack that they can sit in, like everybody knows real scientists do?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Just plastic test tubes with the different colored marbles.
I like how you were going to say balls, which they are, and then you realized that wasn't a safe word to say in the presence of Krenza. And that's really how this works.
I almost started giggling when she said marbles because I wanted her to say balls and tubes.
Jeez.
It's balls and tubes. I mean,
that's what it is. Test tubes and balls.
Jared's out. He's like done. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Done.
It's not like he's surprised by this either. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So $20 MSRP is not bad though.
Right.
And Bill.
Yes.
Bill.
You have to stop talking about games for a minute because if you and I held hands, it would smell like a German festival.
We would. We would actually sound like the perfect ballpark food. We would just need some mustard and we'd be all set.
This is why Brandon doesn't like to do the podcast with me because I'm the sidetracker.
Because you take us off on tangents. I think he doesn't like to. I think he just is afraid to sit near you. I think it's really what it is. And like if he sits near you, he knows he's going to either get backhanded or shouted at. So he's just like, you know what? It's cool. It can be your turn. I'm going to go hide over here.
I mean, I did make the plans with Brandon and then just kind of push him away and take Corinza.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
to
be fair, if we're going to have a pajama party, I would probably prefer Corinza's presence as well. So that makes perfect sense. All right, very good. But that's just my bias. Corinza, what have you been playing lately that you want to talk about?
We recently played Cottage Garden.
This is the Uwe Rosenberg sort of Patchwork Plus, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll take me a game or two to get the pattern and the whole strategy down.
Okay.
I understood it, but I was a little ticked off because I lost by 2 points.
Ooh.
But now that it's not quilting theme, how are you going to whip stitch anybody?
The
gardening. I mean,
well, there's like dirt and digging holes, and I don't know. I'll have to come up with something.
Okay, you have until the end of the episode, and then I'm going to ask again.
Here's the
no pressure.
Here's the thing: you should always get more pots.
Okay.
Always get more pot.
Always get more pot. Yes.
More pot. More pot is good. The more pot you have on your board, the better.
I'm going to add the S on there for her.
More pots. The more pots you have on your board, the better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I haven't gotten a chance to play this one yet. This is me. I'm going to try and rein it in here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is I haven't gotten a chance to play Cottage Garden yet. But let me ask you this: Patchwork is reasonably simple and straightforward, right? Like it's literally you can either buy a piece and take it, or you can't, and you do a different thing,
or you just pass.
Or you just pass, right? When you're with Cottage Garden, where does how much more complex is it than Patchwork?
You can't. It was very hard for me to plan out because, I mean, you had your rows of what you could take, but then the next row is the next person's, and then you like work your way around the board and trying to figure out where I was going to be and what was going to be available.
Okay.
Because it can disappear. That was difficult for me, and knowing that, I didn't know how fast to I don't know, your boards are different and you're trying to put the pieces in, and I don't know, it was harder to plan. It was much harder to plan.
Sure, because
So should I fill up my board quickly and get rid of it? Should I take, should I take more pots so that I can just go ahead and fill those holes, or should I use my kitty cats? to fill up the holes. And then I don't have any more cats. It was tough to make those decisions.
Okay.
Strategize.
Was it a good kind of tough to make decisions, or was it a frustrating kind of tough? Because I feel like that's a fine line, right? Like sometimes that those hard decisions are what makes the game great, and sometimes that just makes you crazy.
I'll have to play it another couple times to decide that. Because like the first time, I don't know. I was kind of frustrated because I couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't plan.
Sure.
It wasn't making sense. And then the thing at the end where you lose points, like I thought, well, I know that I can't finish and get a new board and have enough pieces on it to keep it, but maybe I should have finished so I didn't lose points at the end.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha. So with the caveat that you played, have you only played once or one or two games? Once. Okay. So with the caveat that this is a first impression, that at this point you have more digging to do to come up with your final opinion. But as a first impression, right now, is it a buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it?
I might definitely play it again.
Okay, so it's a play it for you. It's not something you didn't fall instantly in love with it, but you would happily play it again.
Well, it depends on how many times it takes me to win. If I play it 6 more times and I don't win, chances are I'm not going to play it that many more times and not win.
Gotcha. Okay.
because that means that I'm not getting it.
Okay. Right. Okay, that makes sense. So it's not as much that you're competitive. It's that if you don't feel like you're working towards being competitive, like having a chance at winning, then you feel like you're not going to grok the game. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay.
I think so.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I wanted to talk about, okay, so I feel like we had, let's see, a light to medium weight game, a dexterity game, and another light to medium weight game. So I'm going to kind of put the weight on the other end of the scale, and I got to play Arkwright for the first time last week. Arkwright is a huge, heavy economic simulation game about the English Industrial Revolution, and about having factories that either produce food or clothing or cutlery or glass lamps, because those are apparently the only 4 things that people cared about at that era of English history. Who knew? But I asked around on Twitter. So for those of you that have never, first off, I borrowed the game. Thank you, Brandon Kemp, for loaning the review copy to me.
You're welcome.
Yes. So there's 3 rule books that come in that box, right? And they're hefty, like the size of any one really heavy games rule book each, and then there's 3 of them. So I was thoroughly intimidated. And also the way it had been put back together was literally all of the things in one big baggie, right? So nothing was pieced out, nothing was like sorted. It was basically a box dumped game that I got. I was like, wow. All right, this will be fun. So
that's like a nightmare.
Yeah,
that would drive me crazy.
It did. Mm-hmm. It did drive me a little crazy, and so I spent literally 3 days preparing to play it. Like I spent one whole day just trying to figure out what all the pieces were and making player packs so that way when it came time to play we'd be good. Then I spent another day skimming the rules and watching instructional videos on YouTube on how to play, and there's a couple really excellent ones. We'll come back to that in a minute. And then I spent part of one day asking around on Twitter, which rule set do I use the first time I play? Do I want to play the super simple version? Am I brave enough to go all in and just go for the big dog? What do I want to do? And so I literally spent parts of 3 consecutive days prepping for this game, and then we decided to go all in. So I did the water frame, which is the full, all the bells and whistles game. But we played it 2-player. It was myself and my friend Randy, a.k.a. Captain Bislot. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
We happen to know that Randy watches the show every week now because I got scolded last week. Oh, so I'm Captain Bislot, huh? So anyway, Randy, we love you. But we sat and played it, and it took us, I want to say, about 5.5 hours to get through that first game. And I feel very confident that playtime will go way down the next time we play.
Yeah,
because we were really there was a lot of, well, wait a second, what does this do? And we had to look this thing up again. And I had to explain all the basic concept. I mean, it took over an hour before we even started the turn 0. So there was a lot. It was just a lot of prep and a lot of digging. But after about 5.5 hours, we finished. I lost, which was very humbling because I thought for sure I had it in the bag, and then I ended up losing by a tiny little bit, which made me really sad. But what it felt like, for lack of a better term, if you've ever played Brass, the Martin Wallace classic, it felt like Brass jacked up on major steroids without a map. So it felt like the whole idea of, well, I'm doing this, so you'll do that, and then those things will be competing, but we have to make this kind of sort of work together and come to certain agreements on things kind of vibe of with a different, without the map, so there wasn't that area control aspect of it. It was really fun. This is my game all day. This is the exact kind of game that flips every one of my gamer switches. It's epic, it's involved, it's deep, it's got replayability for days with all the random numbers of tiles that you flip to have your starting setup is different every game. You've got a million different strategies you can pursue. Everything about this game screams, oh God, this is the game for me. This, to me, is through the ages level amazing. So I can't, it's hard for me to rave enough about how deeply in love I was with this game once I figured out what the hell I was doing. It took me a while to figure out what the hell I was doing, but once I got to that part, I could not have been happier. It was so good. Yes, I am. Everybody was suggesting Spinning Mule, and if you're going to go for one of those, the two main versions, go for Water Frame. Yes, and I absolutely agree. I don't think that Spinning Jenny. I think there's no point to the Spinning Jenny variant. I think that it's too light, and it doesn't give you enough sense of what it is you're trying to do in the game. So it's not going to be a good representation of the game itself. You won't get a good feel for what the game does. And Spinning Mule basically just takes out ships, as far as I can tell, and certain of the other, some tiles you don't use. And the ships aren't that complicated. That wasn't enough extra to worry about, right? As far as I was concerned, it's in per penny, in per pound. You can figure out how to do this, you can figure out the rest. So I'm going to say that I think this is a buy it game on the Cubist scale for everybody. And I say that because I think everybody should have that one or two really epic games sitting in their collection somewhere that just let them dig in. That experience kind of game. This is what we're doing today, and this can definitely be one of those games. I think I am head over heels in love with it. And this is going to be one of those games that I'm going to seek out at conventions. I'm going to find people that have always wanted to learn this and teach it to them, or find people that already know how to play and just really dig in.
Hey, it looks like we're getting a Bruce joining us.
It does. It does. I don't know if you can hear us yet because he's incoming. Hi, Bruce. Bruce. No. He's almost here. So this should be Bruce Vogue, the member of the party game. How is it? The party game cast, featuring the party game cast.
There we go.
I can't say. That's so hard for me to say. So Bruce will be joining us in just a minute. So we'll let him off the hook on what game he's been playing recently, unless he feels like jumping in later. But in the meanwhile, let's jump into this late night gaming idea, because I'm kind of fascinated with this idea.
Okay, let's do it.
So in my mind, there are 2 or 3 different kinds of games that end up being your typical late night gaming stuff, right? There are party games. So now we're talking large groupie type stuff. There's dexterity games, because when you're sleepy, it's fun watching people do dumb stuff, like trying to stack things and whatever. And then there are just light filler games that you can play on automatic, right? Like the stuff where you don't have to think real hard. I feel like, does that make sense?
Please. It's called flip the table games.
There is that. That's fair. That's fair. There he is. Hi, Bruce.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce.
Bruce, you are muted, sir.
Bruce, you are silent.
Which actually makes the visuals even better.
Now you're definitely muted.
You are a beautiful, beautiful man, Bruce. And the pink windsock. Yes, there you go.
Woo.
Nothing yet.
Nope.
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 So chatty, though, for somebody
right.
we can't hear. I like it.
He is.
Yeah.
If only there was a chat window that you could type in, Bruce.
Is that your Saturday Night Live closed caption?
Yeah, there you go. We need a bad lip reading of Bruce.
We're just going to have Bruce on to mime this.
Nope.
Amazing.
No, this is great. Bruce, click on the settings gear at the top of the Hangout and make sure that it's looking at the correct input. Sometimes that helps.
You are beautiful.
So pretty.
Oh boy.
We
Anyway.
can't
You're going to say love? No.
hear you.
This is such good podcasting right here. We are professionals as professional.
That was
as
totally ASL, though. I want to tell you.
Dude, you're going to win an award for this episode.
I have training in that.
Oh yeah. The Razzies are coming. Is there a Razzie for podcasting? Because if there is, no.
Talk to moderator Chris about that.
Yeah, there you go. We should start one. We'll start one, and we'll just give it to each other every year. Be like, look, it's your year, right? It's an odd year. It must go to the Cubist. There you go.
I think it's actually better if we just allow Bruce to mime out anything. Yes. Can you hear us, Bruce?
Okay, so Bruce.
Yeah.
This is perfect for late night miming. Nobody thought of that. Charades, right?
So I can present to everyone, so we can leave it so that way it's always Bruce that people see while we talk. And then Bruce can do interpretive dance for the entire thing. There you go. If only we could hear you, Bruce.
You might. Did you check your settings in Hangouts? No. Yes.
In my mind, well, first off, you are currently muted.
We can see that you're muted.
Right, we can tell that.
He is in the third round of Monikers Jordan, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Leroy Jenkins, I don't know.
No. All right.
It's a good thing you're pretty.
Anyway, you are very pretty. All right. So the three basic kinds, and you work on your settings and keep talking, and when we hear you, we will celebrate.
Oh, wait, when you just touched your mic, it made a noise, Bruce.
No, I don't think it was him. All right, so back at it. You're a beautiful man. This is so wrong. All right, so the three basic categories that I view that we have is we have party games, we've got light games, and then we've got dexterity games. Those to me are like the three basic categories of games that you play late that qualify as quote unquote late night games. And I think that the ones that always pop into everybody's head first are the party games, right? So these can be anywhere from like Werewolf and those sorts of things to Telestrations to Fake Artists in New York to, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And those are obvious, right? Because it's when everything is late night. When everything's late, I'm sorry, I can't stop chuckling at Bruce in his mounting frustration.
Use your built-in computer one. Just swap it out to the basic out. Mm.
There you go. So I think those party games are the things that we all think of first, right? Those are the ones that everybody kind of thinks of as your go-to for late night stuff, or at least that's what I do. Like I feel like at conventions, there's time-honored traditions of playing Time's Up, at 3 a.m. or whatever, or Telestrations or whatever. I know, and this is your jam, right? It's sad that Bruce is not involved in this part of the he's about to throw thing.
He's dying. Just restart your computer. Sometimes that works.
We'll be here when you get back, sir.
He said have him double check his mic and make sure Hangout sees ITBB. I don't know what that means.
Who said that?
I think that was dirty, but I don't know. I think Brandon said
He's writing us a note.
Oh, yes. We're going to play real live Telestrations right here, I think.
All right.
I don't know. Moniker is one of them.
God. All right. So against my better judgment, I will present Bruce to everyone yet again. He'll be back. All
I'll
right,
be
there you
back.
go.
Okay, bye, Bruce.
We love you, buddy.
After these messages, he'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, we will let him talk about party games when he comes back in a minute. So we'll skip on to the next
That's
thing.
reasonable.
Well, let's skip on to the next thing, which is, in my opinion, dexterity games seem to be the part two, right? These are the silly games where it's the physical thing that you're doing that are the big deal. So, like, Junk Art here is the first one that's going to leap to mind for me forever now, because that's sort of that's the killer app for dexterity games right now. At least it feels like it is to me. What else do you guys feel? I guess there's one called Riff Raff that falls
Riff Raff
in
is
here?
a great late night one, yeah.
Okay.
It's the big ship that you stack the pieces on. You have to catch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Mhm.
I haven't played that. I've seen it played, but I haven't actually played it myself.
Is that the round one? What's the round one?
That's hamster roll.
Hamster Roll,
That hamster roll. Okay.
which I thought that was like gone forever out of print. Like I thought that had been dead for a while, but and then
Hamster roll or
yeah.
Riff Raff?
Hamster Roll.
We played that a couple of years ago at Geekway. It was the Mother's Day Geekway.
Okay, I didn't know that was.
I'm
a
sorry,
thing.
my coffee mug with my adult hot chocolate and my glass straw are very loud, probably.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are not quite as loud as you mashing on your keyboard, which is right next to your microphone, or moving the microphone around. Those two things are both louder.
I haven't moved the microphone this time.
Not this
I'm
time.
going to begin
Not this
playing
time.
Dr. Eureka.
There you go.
Woo!
Very good.
Eureka!
So, and then the third time is type is sort of just like regular light games, right? Like things where you can play with and you don't have to think too hard. So where do your preferences lie when it comes to those three types? Like what's the thing that you gravitate towards when it's 1 a.m.?
It depends on where you are.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
no,
what do you-
totally.
What do you mean?
Well, if I'm at home, it's usually just me and Brandon. So I don't know what we
Wow,
would play at
no.
that point in time. Something light.
Clean it up, Chris.
There you go.
That was you. That was all you. When I'm at a hotel at a board meeting, they always play that game, the nasty one.
Cards
With the
Against
cards.
Humanity.
Cards Against
Yes,
Humanity.
that one.
Mhm.
But there's really only one good card in there, and you just wait until you get that card and you play it because it wins
Yeah.
everything.
We don't need to say what that card is
No.
on air.
I'm-
And I will
I'm not-
not.
I'm not
And
even
then-
convinced that that's a game, but that's a whole different critter.
So are we bringing it back to dexterity
And then-
games? Is that what
And
we're
then
on?
there's werewolf. But this is my favorite though, werewolf, because
Okay.
that's
One
the
night
good-
or full?
no, the full werewolf.
Really? Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
see?
Play it the
Because
full.
they always play that at Geekway, and it's like 9 o'clock or after, and it's gotten so big that they have to have like 2 rooms to accommodate all the people that want to play.
Okay,
right.
so I feel like werewolf is going to be a pretty divisive subject here, right? Because the werewolf seems to be one of those games that you either love it or you hate it.
Hate
So,
it. Hate it,
and
hate
you're
it,
a hate it.
Hate it, hate it, hate it.
Look at my hair. Who do you think gets picked first round every friggin' time?
I suppose that's
Me-
fair. That's fair. Kimberly, have you ever played Big Werewolf?
I have never played full-blown werewolf, only one night.
Okay.
That's sufficient.
Would you play it?
If I were drinking, perhaps.
Okay. See, and I was the guy at the Gaming Hoopla, the convention that I helped start, that ran werewolf every convention. Like I was the werewolf guy for years and years and years. That was just sort of the thing that I did, and I always organized, and we'd get like 25, 30 person werewolf games going. Is that going to help, Bruce?
I'm hoping.
Oh my
Yeah!
All I had to
Apparently,
do was
all
go
it
to the
needed was a
iPad.
mullet.
Yeah.
All we needed was a mullet, and we'd be all set.
This is not a mullet. This is my luxurious hair.
Okay,
Beautiful.
sir. I'm sorry.
This is not a mullet. This is party in the front, party in the back.
Just
Party
nothing
all the
but
time.
just nothing but party. All right. So Bruce Vogue from the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast. Hi, how's it going?
Hey, it goes wonderful now that I'm on my third device to get on this show.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. The iPad finally did it.
You know, if it makes you feel any better, we have had a lot of guests on the show that have ended up on an iPad because they couldn't make their regular computers and podcasting devices work.
Well, then I'm glad I could eventually get here. Thank you so much for letting me come late.
Of course.
Think you should-
We were waiting to talk about actual party games until you got back because we
Thank you,
didn't
because
want.
I heard the beginning of the discussion.
Yes, and then we saw how agitated you got, and we decided we should stop because we didn't want you to snap and explode
That
on
was
us.
the best.
It was. So we were just talking about. So Bruce, are you pro or anti werewolf? Like the full
I
game?
am. Okay, now do you mean this like politically or in my own personal life?
Like, do you like or dislike the game werewolf?
Do you enjoy
I
playing the
have
game?
a weapons grade dislike of werewolf.
Okay, so you are.
Personally.
So it's 3 anti and 2 pro currently here. Because Carenza and I are both fans. Well, actually, it's 2 anti, 2 pro, and 1 eh. I can't. Kimberly's kind of the right? Because you've never played. And
I mean, I
you
don't
would
really
play-
like social deduction games, so
Amen,
Okay.
sister.
Social deduction, it's blind accusation. Oh, you've got a
That's
beard
even-
and long
that's so
hair?
much worse.
Boom, you're a werewolf.
I would just be like, nope, done. Yep.
Hey, and by the way, you're a werewolf. Now sit here for the next hour and 45 minutes.
well, except for
Because we need to be thematic.
you don't have to sit there.
Yeah, but you're a jerk if you leave.
No,
Yeah.
you're not. No. I fully. I always tell people to leave.
And you're like,
Like,
so you're willing to say, hey, we kicked you out of the game. Now get the hell out of here.
No, I also don't do that. But it's like, if you want to go play another game, go play another game, But yeah, I know there are some people that think that it's bad form to leave. I think that that's horse hockey, but yeah, and it's
Some people pay too much attention to what other people are doing.
yes, there is that.
This is valid. Worry about yourself.
You
That's
worry
what I
about
like to say.
yourself.
Worry
Yeah.
about yourself.
You worry about yourself.
Exactly.
You worry about yourself. I just want to be part of it. Sorry.
There you go.
Jared, get one in. Come on now.
Does werewolf count as a party game? I feel like Bruce, you get to sort of be the end all be all authority on this. Is werewolf a party game?
Here's the deal. I'm going to say yes because it plays a gajillion people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that is not a party, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a party I want to go to, but I can certainly acknowledge it's a party.
So he does not attend cons then, right? There's a
Oh, I
gajillion people there.
I am a non-convening nerd. Only
That-
recently am I headed to I don't convene well.
I was going to say, I know for a fact he convenes at least sometimes, though, because I just hung out with Bruce a little bit at BGG Con.
You did, but you didn't hang out with me near a werewolf game.
No, I did not. I didn't hang
No.
out with. I did not hang out with anybody at a werewolf game at a convention
Smart.
because that's not. My time is limited at conventions, and I can't spend that. I don't want to spend that much time if I'm not running the game. So, not like if I'm moderating a werewolf game and therefore I'm providing something to the other people, then I feel like it's time well spent. But as a player, nah, not
But
for me anymore.
But then the question is for you, and I think you answered it, is it that you, guy who wants to run things and be entertaining, gets to entertain a crowd, so it is to you, it could be records, it could be werewolf, it could be whatever.
Mhm.
Is it that that's what you prefer far more than the actual game werewolf?
Yes.
Is okay, well then that's just a different world, man. That's you being a DJ.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And I know this because 2 Rooms and a Boom solved this problem for me perfectly, because now I can run 2 Rooms and a Boom at conventions, get the exact same thrill in 20 minutes. Oh,
Nice.
I had that on my list. I haven't played it yet.
2 Rooms and a Boom. It is so good.
I haven't played it yet either. It's on my shelf.
Bill, that's really interesting you said that, because we have a guy that did the same exact thing. He always ran werewolf for like 5 or 6 snow cons,
Mhm.
and then once he got 2 Rooms and a Boom, that's the game he ran.
Yep.
So it's like a natural progression.
To me, it's the werewolf killer. Like and I hate to say that because I loved werewolf for years and years and years. My ultimate werewolf copy is actually pimped out with extra roles that I created and built into it. Right, like there's a werehamster in my copy. That isn't anywhere else, and it's a role that I'm very proud of. But it doesn't. But 2 Rooms and a Boom is just a flat out better game. So it was easy for me to make the switch because you know what? A game that gives you many of the same triggers, but in 20 minutes, with no player elimination, it's everything that Werewolf wishes it was.
So to loop that to late night gaming, I played a late night game of that. It was 9 o'clock, and we played it at Extra Life 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we had one room be inside the venue and one room be outside on the street. So when we did the hostage exchange, you actually had to go through the door into the building or outside.
Mm-hmm.
So it was thematically super awesome, and that's what hooked me.
And also half your players were miserable nonstop.
Well, it was a warm November.
It was a good November, okay.
Crazy warm anyway, so we wanted to be the people to be taken to the other side outside to cool off.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Two Rooms in a Boom is for my money. Two Rooms in a Boom is currently the best large group game going, like truly large group. And Carenza, I'm still on Team Werewolf because I think Werewolf does bring something unique to the table that no other game does. I just don't know that it's something that I want anymore. You know what I mean?
With the number of people that play, this makes me wonder, sitting here with 4 people who board game and 3 of them who don't care for the game, have these people not played it before and so they join because they don't know what it is? Or do they play because they don't like really talking to other people? I wonder why it's such a big thing. And I enjoy sitting and listening to people's reasoning, which, I get that it's kind of ridiculous when you don't have any information about people and you're just guessing. But also,
he's got a yellow shirt.
Down to
he's clearly a werewolf.
To the last couple of people and seeing the, going back and forth of, no, it's not me, and yes, it is, and knowing who the person, knowing who the werewolf is and knowing who they aren't. I don't know. I thought it was interesting watching people interact.
The one thing that I would argue about Werewolf is that you're right. There are a large segment of Werewolf players that do work off of literally no information and just wildly throw blind, stupid yellow shirt and long hair means werewolf accusations. And those are dumb. But if you're good at reading people and understanding body language, there is information to be obtained in the first round of a game of Werewolf. The problem is that people aren't that observant, and there's too much of the group think of there's no information, everything's random. That's not true. People have tells and you can find them, and that's part of what can make you a really good Werewolf player. The problem is that there aren't enough people that approach the game like that, I think, to make it truly enjoyable.
There aren't enough Sherlocks out there.
Kind of, yeah.
Wait a minute. So to you, Werewolf is this 44-person poker orgy of trying to figure out tells. There's 44 people. If you're going to be a strong person to pick up tells, play a game with 6 people. Don't play a game with 40. You can't even see the rest of you can't see everyone.
I really think it would be better in a smaller setting, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think 10 to 12, maybe.
For the record, I would never play in a 44-player game of Werewolf. I think that's Looney Tunes, and I wouldn't do that anyway.
Oh, that's Looney Tunes? Where's the Looney Tunes cutoff? I find myself
20.
20?
20.
Okay.
Legit. More than 20 players, and I think that all logic goes out the window and it just becomes noise. I think that I've run games up to about 20 players, and you can still have thoughtful, logical conversations and deduction go on, and the game doesn't overstay its welcome too terribly. It still goes long.
Yeah.
But it's also really moderator dependent too, though. If you have a good moderator, a game of Werewolf shouldn't drag. The moderator can make or break it, very similar to any role-playing game. No matter how good the rule set is, if your DM sucks, you're going to have a crappy role-playing game. It's the same thing with Werewolf. If your moderator sucks, you're going to have a bad game.
What about a discussion? Moderator.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yes. This. Also, I'm amazing. Let's just throw that out there right now. I'm clearly the best. No, that's not what I'm saying, Bruce. But yeah, but I played in terrible games and I played in good games, and it is what it is. All right, but I don't want this to become the Werewolf cast.
Yep, that's already been 9 minutes. Nope. Yep.
Next, move on. New cup, move down.
All right.
That was Carenza's suggestion, yeah?
Yeah.
I was just saying that it was a convention game that I played late at night.
Right. Yeah, right. Absolutely. That was Carenza's. So how about Jared? What's a good convention game that you played late at night?
Well, it depends. For late night for me, the only thing I can think of is Extra Life. And I can tell you, after starting at 8 a.m., once you hit about 11 o'clock, you have zero brain power. So, you know, and it's funny because it goes into group deduction games like Two Rooms and a Boom. Then it kind of switches to some of those descriptive party games like
Code names.
The one about the code names. The one about the applying for the job.
Fun Employment.
Fun Employment. Snake Oil. Some of those.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, my favorite of all of those.
And then it definitely involves. Then it goes to the dexterity games.
Yeah,
so that's where we get like pitch car. Or we get what is it? Bounce off. The one where you have to bounce. It's like beer pong, but without the drinking, and sometimes the fun.
That's basically it's like children's beer pong. My sister bought it for our kids. Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I'm so the wrong person for this because to me, 11 p.m. there's still time to get a good solid game of Terraforming Mars in.
So it's funny you say that too, because the only other serious game I can think of was at TotalCon this year when Jason Lees and his wife Desiree at 11 o'clock after I'd eaten 10 pounds of food for breakfast, played games all day, and then he's like, "Hey, let's play a quick game of Spartacus."
Yeah,
and I was like, I hadn't played before. So I was like, okay.
Oh God.
And like, we didn't end it.
We were drinking too, Jared. There was also alcohol.
We had been drinking heavily that evening.
Oh Lord!
Which did not exist.
I think it was a fun game, but I don't.
Not at that time. Yeah.
I was food coma drinking, so who knows?
It was a rough day.
Well, and some people, and there are people that are going to, that can, that they don't start to wear down and their brains don't turn to pudding till much later. Like I'm a night owl. I work bar hours. So for me, I'm used to being up and cognizant and functional until 3, 4 in the morning. That's normal for me. So when everybody else is faded at midnight, I'm still kind of sitting there going, wow, I'm good. What are we going to do? Come on, guys, let's go. I got a feast for Odin in me yet. Let's do it. Let's make this happen. Anybody want to play a choir? And everybody else is like, are you high? What are you doing? Stop that. And I'm like, no, this is great. So it's,
Oh no, Matt Roy did that at the last G2S at like 11:10. I don't remember. He started busting out Feast for Odin. And as the organizer and the convention closes at midnight, nope.
You had to regulate. That won't be an issue at this coming G2S, right?
No, because the gaming hall's open 24 hours. You play your festivals.
Matt,
Odin all night. You told me what?
You and me, buddy. You and me, Matt. We got this. Because that's my birthday party. I'll be there. I'm ready.
Yep. And I won't even make side-eye. Too much. I mean, there'll be some probably.
You absolutely will. Don't lie. All right. So, best dexterity game for late nights at conventions.
Twister.
Really?
No.
Catan Twister.
No.
Catan Twister, maybe.
Catan Twister's a maybe. Giant Rhino Hero is good.
Yeah, Giant Rhino Hero.
What about Tumbling Dice?
Tumbling Dice is great.
Yes. Yeah.
I like Tumbling Dice. I'm going to go with the game. What?
Bill just had a stroke.
The Dardens.
The wood one, Mulkey.
Yes.
Oh, Tac Woodman?
No.
Mulkey, where you throw wood at other wood.
You are literally throwing these logs. They're about this big, and you got to throw them sort of like bowling for other pins that are like 20 feet away. And it's amazing and incredibly violent and so satisfying because you're like hucking these 1-pound chunks of wood 20 feet down the hallway. It's great.
That sounds amazing.
It's awesome. We didn't play it this year at BGG, and it broke my heart because last year, not only did we play, but then we were roping other people in. Maggie, get over. We grab Mags and come here and throw wood with us. What? It's fine. And then we terrified the hotel staff.
I almost killed somebody, Bill.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I was there. It was not pretty. It was fun.
You should not give me large pieces of wood and tell me to throw them at 2:00 in the morning.
Is that an outside game?
Probably supposed to be.
It is an outdoor game.
Not.
Don't throw your wood in the house.
Or in the hotel.
So at BGG Con, there is a section of in front of where the registration desk is, that nobody walks through late at night. And so for the last couple of years, not this past year, but the 2 years previous, it would get set up down that stretch of the hallway. So literally at 3 a.m, there would be people hucking these pieces of wood down this traveled hallway. And what we didn't realize is that there was a door on the other side of the hallway that convention staff had to get through in order to like put chairs away and stuff. Ooh. And every once in a while they came out that door and we were in the process of hucking wood like feet from them. And I think we scared the bejesus out of a couple people.
I bet.
Yeah, it was not.
Zeus.
It was,
I think at some point I just sat on the floor and laughed. So
it was great. It was great.
I'm not surprised by that.
Poor decisions.
No, really?
No, but that's actually not the game that I was trying to think of. The one that I was trying to think of was the one where you have like a piece of rope tied around your waist, and there's 4 of them. Yeah. And there's like one pin
I don't remember
in the
what
center.
It's called. Yeah.
What the hell are you babbling about?
I'm serious.
It is. You like linked and you like hula hoop.
Yes. So take a plus sign. All right. So imagine that there is a person lassoed to each end of this plus sign.
Okay.
So there are 4 people linked together with a single like X of rope.
It's a real thing.
And at the center of that rope is a pendulum hanging down, and you have 3 little pins set up in front of you. And so you have to like wiggle your hips around to try and get this pendulum to swing your way to knock over your pins versus other people's pins. So it's like 4-way tug of war with a pin.
Yes.
Well, doesn't the strongest person just pull everyone else towards them?
Well, no, because you can't move your feet. You can't lift your feet.
But they leaned back. They were pulling people around quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I had something of an advantage. I'm not going to lie. I had a low center of gravity that meant that I could easily knock people in my general direction if I wanted to. Also, I had weird rope burns for like 2 days afterwards. I wish I was kidding about that, but I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Had nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Had nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, there's that.
My bad.
Oh, we would murder them. We could have a professional team.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying we got this. There were many fingers of whiskey involved in that particular evening, though. To be fair, so I mean that's probably part of why this seemed like a good idea. We were also
incredibly violent dancing eggs.
Yes,
that is the most violent game of dancing eggs I have ever witnessed in my life. People were falling and flipping and bleeding. It's not good.
Now, have you guys played Strong Stuff?
No, never heard of it.
That is the game that Habba made that clearly should have been a drinking game, and they pretend that they don't know why you think that. But because I asked them at one point, I was like, so did you call it Strong Stuff because you knew it was a drinking game? And the person from Habba went, no such thing, and turned and walked away. But it is, you have a little bear, and you stack cylinders on top of the bear, and then you have to pick up the bear and move him from place to place without knocking the stack over. And you have like 3 honey drops. Each one's a point. So when you knock him over, you lose one of your honey drops. So they could just easily be replaced with shots, and suddenly you have the next Lupin Louie.
Okay.
Huh.
I got you. That sounds terrifying and awesome.
Doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. So this actually ties into a thing that I was going to ask specifically, is how often do you play party games sober?
All the time.
Yeah? Yep. Well, I figured you did. That's sort of a gimme, right? I mean, it would be hard for your liver, if nothing else, for you to have a podcast all about party games if you have to get wasted every time you're going to play them.
That's not to say that other people on the show don't do that. I'm not a drinker, so I'm always going to play them sober.
Okay.
But, we have some people that do. But most of the time when we're playing them, obviously for the show, of the 5 of us playing, 3 of us are sober.
Gotcha. How about the rest of you?
I think for me personally, it depends on the game. Like monikers, where I have to get up and act things out, I need a little bit of alcohol to survive that. Dexterity games, I do not. Just depends on the game.
Okay. How about Krenza? I hesitate to ask.
Why is that?
Because because I've met you is really what this
You've met everyone else as well.
That's true, but which means I had a feeling I knew how they were going to answer, just like I know with you.
I don't need drinks to play anything, but true. I enjoy a drink while I'm playing.
Jared?
No.
So I will say not usually.
Okay.
And that's not by choice. It's usually by circumstance.
Okay.
As 3 out of the 4 flip the table people don't drink.
Oh, sure.
So and that's usually who I play with. So,
So you're the only drinker out of the 4 of you?
I believe so.
Okay.
So it's you and 3 Mormons.
Whatever their reasons are, it's
yeah, no hate here.
Unless we take Jared at a convention.
Well, and it's completely different when I go gaming with Kimberly. Everything goes out the room at that point.
That's actually pretty much her mission statement for convention attendance in general.
Yes.
Allow me to completely disrupt your normal way of doing things. Rinse and repeat.
Yes.
Sort of how she rolls. There you go.
That's right.
For
and
me,
you love it.
I do. For me, the list of party games that I like is very small. There's about 2 of every category.
Bruce is going to punch you through the computer right now.
Sorry, Bruce.
Is that a thing? I think you could do that, Bruce.
I can actually rattle off the top of my head the ones that I know that I've played that I enjoyed. So I love Codenames. I love Junk Art. I love Two Rooms and a Boom. Hamster Roll is fine. Telestrations
I still have
is
a
okay.
finger left on this one hand.
I know. Telestrations is good. Telestrations is fine. It's not a game, but it's fine. Concept, I think, is one of my favorite party games, period.
Really?
Yeah,
I
love
that,
Concept.
You're like, that's fun.
Yes, it is.
No.
Absolutely.
Agreed, ma'am.
No, Concept is great.
Bruce is my new best friend, Bill. I'm sorry.
Bruce is a charming man.
He also came with a ghost. Yeah.
Yes, there is that. No, yeah, I absolutely consider Concept a party game because
I think it's a great game, but to call it a party game, I think it's a bit of a misnomer. I think it's too thinky.
It is thinky.
Yeah.
See, but that thinkiness. So let me show you how I play Concept. Is let's say I'm the guy that's going to be giving the clue giver. Okay, I'll draw the card, I'll pick the thing, and I'll start putting stuff out, and then everyone else at the table just starts guessing and shouting stuff out. Yes. And as people are walking by, they'll stop, they'll look, they'll be like, "Oh, how about that?" And people can just jump in and out and be as much a part of it as they want to. And to me, that's sort of the mission statement of what I want a party game to do. And then if that was fun and somebody's like, "Ooh, I wonder, can I try that?" Yes, absolutely. Here you go. Here's a card. Here's the basic idea. Go. And it's sort of the social lubricant of getting people involved in this without having the actual game, because I don't give a crap about the points. Like I don't hand out there's no scoring. It's
Agreed.
I feel like you're doing it wrong if you're assigning points in Concept.
I have a couple friends that would shout at you in disagreement, but they are also wrong. So there's that.
And they sound like big party gamers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those guys. Yeah.
I talked about Arkwright today before you got on the show. So yeah, that's my group. There you go.
Brandon told me Brandon told me that Mysterium wasn't really a party game.
Meh.
Well,
I'd say it toes the line.
I don't like that game, so I don't have an opinion there.
Are you just wrong about everything?
No,
that's one of my favorite games.
Good.
Brandon enjoys that game because I like to be the lead, and then I don't get to talk.
Well, okay, so every game's got its upside. I get that. That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. I don't know. Not my thing. Sorry.
I'm gonna shake my head.
I do like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. I own that one, and I like that quite a bit. What's the difference?
What's the difference? Where is it that you like one and you don't like the other?
Okay, you want an honest answer?
No, it's an honest question. I'm just saying it loud.
Honest answer. Number 1, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong has the traitor element, so there is a specific, you can't trust everyone at the table, which means that even when everybody's shouting and trying to give other people clues and misinformation, there's a reason to distrust. That's good.
Okay.
All right, that's a big one. Number 2, because Mysterium is a true co-op, there's no incentive. I can lean back in my chair and let the 4 other people at the table figure out my puzzle for me and completely disengage. And I watch people do that. Every time I've seen that game played, there's at least one person at the table that isn't a strong enough personality to keep up with everybody else. And so they end up leaning back.
We don't play with people like that.
Well, but you can't. Okay, you don't.
You need
want
to exclude those people from your games.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. You
That's-
just throw things at them to get them engaged.
Sure.
That's what I do.
Yes. Also, I'm going to start packing a cattle prod in my convention pack. That'll help, right? Because
It depends on what kind of convention you're going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And number 3, the third reason I'm not a big fan of Mysterium specifically is because the interpretation is so fast and loose that it feels like there's almost misinformation. Like there isn't enough to go on until you play the same game with the same people the same number of times.
I totally understand, and I get how that's way different than Werewolf.
It is.
It's so different.
It
I
is
understand.
It is different. It's significantly different, actually. But we covered the werewolf thing.
I like the side eye going on here.
There you go.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Chris Mitchell pointed out that kicking people under the table also helps keep them engaged.
There is that. There is that. Because
You
there is
also
no
need
problem.
to know who to play with.
I agree with that in every aspect of games. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not that person you want to play Mysterium with. It's just, that's not.
Neither is Mr. Roy. He
There
says
you
he's
go.
not a huge fan.
See? Me and Matt,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we are like brothers from another
New
mother.
besties,
Oh.
yeah.
We are.
I am Nietzsche de Moscow.
Okay,
What she
so
said.
fun fact. I don't remember. Carenza, did you listen to
Yes.
the Cubist when it was in audio format?
I don't listen to anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the first,
I
no,
apologize.
Nope,
I
that's to-
don't,
I expected.
I don't have a big ton of extra time.
No, I completely expected that. Jared, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the first time Jared was on the show, it was the entire cast of Flip the Table that were the guests on the Cubist. And during the rapid fire segment, moderator Chris had to say the name of the Polish name of Mysterium. I typed it in the chat and said, "Say this, go," and it was one of my favorite moments from the audio version of the show. Listening to moderator Chris, the best spoken man possibly I know in podcasting. He is articulate and funny, and listening to him sound like he was basically vomiting his own tongue out of his mouth trying to speak Polish was one of my favorite moments ever. Also, you're right up there, Bruce. You're right.
I'm also right here.
I know you are.
Like, you can just not say it when I'm right here.
Why? Are you and Chris like mortal enemies? Because that would
No,
be really
we are.
funny.
I love Chris. I would
Well, there you go.
take a bullet for Chris. He is
Well,
my
that-
moderator, Chris, too.
Exactly. Exactly. So therefore, when I pay him a lovely compliment, you should be excited.
Let's not go that far.
Supportive and not go there.
That's fine. It's fine. All right. Is there, so to wrap this up, or because we're getting a little long on time, not too bad. What would be what's your go-to, like, you don't want necessarily a party game, you don't necessarily want a dexterity game, you just want something light and not too thinky but is still a quote unquote regular game. Is there kind of a go-to in your head for that? You know what I mean? Like something where it's still like a game. It
Like
isn't.
Six Nimmt.
Yeah. That's a solid choice, actually. That's a really good choice.
Carcassonne.
Okay. Really? That
There's
doesn't.
not tons of people, but I still like to play. I don't like playing with a lot of people.
Okay. That works. Yeah. So like a 2 or 3 player game, you're saying?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay. Yeah. See, I prefer Carcassonne at 2. So.
So
Solid
do I.
player,
But
yeah.
we're talking about party games.
Yeah. Well, no, we're talking about regular games that you would use in this late night niche.
What
In
is
the
this
late night, snake oil.
regular games garbage?
Oh God, here we go. All right, Bruce.
Like, you knew what you were doing, man. You knew when you brought me on.
Right.
I know, because I hate this stigma. This,
okay.
They're partner. What do you do when you want to play a real game? What do we
Oh,
do
no.
when we play a real game around here? Because
No.
a party game is not a real game.
I didn't say a real game. I said a regular game, as in.
I'm
not-
sorry. That is so much different.
It
A
is different,
regular
sir.
game.
It is different, sir. Oh, Bruce, you need a hug. Bruce,
Look, we're here. The goat and I are here.
Hug-
Look,
hug-
Dale, we're hugging.
hug the hell out of that goat, sir.
I am,
Does
sir.
the goat have
All
a
right.
name?
Not
I've been-
yet. I'm asking Twitter. I'm asking Twitter for the goat name. We don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. I'll
I
make sure
saw
to
your
vote.
goat, and I had to bring out the fox that I brought today for my niece.
I was a little bit
What-
nervous as to what was going to happen here on screen, but
What does it say, Krenza?
What does it say?
Yes.
what does? Yep.
Thank you.
What does the fox say?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Please don't make me do that again.
And off the rails. What does
What does the fox say?
It's like
All right.
Eric Cartman in Sail Away. I have to complete it.
Yeah,
It's like
sorry.
Roger
All right.
Rabbit and shaving a haircut.
You got to rein it in.
Look at you trying to take control, Kimberly. Well done.
Yep. You're welcome.
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna get me a T-shirt that says the sidetracker.
yes. Excellent. All right,
We'll kickstart that.
Bruce,
Yes.
you're right. I did know what I was going to get.
I know.
Although, and I'm very glad I got it. I'm glad that you were able to finally make it on the show 3 devices later.
And thank you so much for having me. I don't think you'll invite me back because this has been
Oh,
my
absolutely.
second appearance. But
Hey, they've
You
let
are-
me come back. This is my second time, so you
Exactly.
will
You
totally
haven't
get another
survived your-
invitation.
You
Do
haven't
I get a
survived your
smoking
rapid
jacket?
fire.
do I get
You-
a smoking jacket at
you do-
5?
You do not. But you know what you get right now?
Oh.
You get
Rapid fire.
the rapid fire segment, which is a traditional end of the show segment on the Cubist.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
All you, buddy. Good luck.
Thank
Which
you.
All right. Kimberly, you want to explain how it goes since this is your thing tonight?
This is my thing now, huh? I will ask you 5 questions in rapid succession. You have to answer them as quickly as possible, Bruce.
Okay.
I think that's it. Did I miss a rule?
No, I think you're good.
That's,
more
I kinda got
enthusiastic,
that
the
from
more-
title.
You can do it. Are you ready? Corinza and I came up with these before you got on earlier.
Can I say on your mark, get set, go?
All right,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
What is your favorite snack food to go with late night gaming, Bruce?
Potato chips. Always potato chips.
All right, the best game to play with 8 people.
Best game to play
Exactly
with-
8.
With exactly 8 people.
Exactly 8
is
people.
Probably tumbling dice with a whole bunch of extra dice.
Okay.
My
What is
set
your
has 8 dice.
What is your favorite pajama type?
My favorite pajama type is none.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's party.
Yeah. What is your least favorite late night game?
My least favorite late night game is diplomacy.
And what flavor of pudding would you invent if you could invent any flavor of pudding?
If I could invent any flavor of pudding, I would invent the flavor of bacon.
Yes, I knew it.
Yay! Well done. Well done, Bruce. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to do the say the question over to buy myself time, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. You are not the first person to employ that particular stalling tech, and I suspect you will not be the last.
No, you did very well.
thank you.
You did, Bruce. If people wanted to know more about you and the things that you do, where would they find that information?
Okay, so all the various places you can find me. On Twitter at BruceCoThinks, if you want to hear just like my opinions on wrestling. Or at the Party Gamecast, if you want to hear my opinions about Party Gamecast related things. You can find me on Board Game Geek as BruceCo. No one ever finds me there, but you're allowed to. Also, at a convention, I'll be there for North Star Games because I now work for the fine folks at North Star Games. So if you just want to play one of our lovely games or say hey out and about in a place where a lot of people are, that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And speaking
Have a
from
season.
personal experience, Bruce is one of the loveliest people you will meet at a convention. If you get a chance, go up, say hi. He's a great guy. Bruce, you're
Hi,
awesome.
Bruce.
We like you, even though you're
Thank
wrong
you.
about most everything when it comes to games.
You know, I get
You're-
it. You and I are on the opposite sides of the color wheel.
There's nothing wrong with that, sir.
Yeah, it happens.
Exactly. Jared, if people wanted to know more about you, where would they find you?
You can find me by listening to Flip the Table
Yes, you
at
can.
www.tableflipsyou.com. I'm also on Twitter at Jared_Hunnefeld, where I talk about slate board games, pictures of my kid eating my hand, and wrestling. So that's where I'm at.
See, the wrestling is how we are all kindred spirits somewhere along this path.
Side note: New Day retained both times.
Yes! Yes! New Day rocks!
Oh boy. Carenza, where would people find out more about you?
At Carenza Maroki on Twitter.
Yep.
And Jefferson City, Missouri.
And also, you make regular. You
Do not give your address.
You make regular appearances on a podcast too, don't you?
I do make regular appearances on the "What Did You Play This Week" podcast thing.
Yes, you do. I made my first ever appearance on it this week.
Ooh, your first ever this week?
Yet.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just now started
Nice
submitting.
to meet you. I love your glasses, Jared. Nobody feels sorry for you with a baby when they have children who are older than that. They will keep you up much later. Trust me, Kimberly. Cheers again, Bill.
Love you.
We still got your bed made up in the background here because we don't ever clean anything up.
Just never cleaned it. That works. That works. It's only been like 3 weeks. You're still within the statute of limitations. Yeah. You're right. But
so,
last but not least, Kimberly, where would people find more about you and the things that you do?
I am at KJ Bullock on Twitter, and I am the founder and organizer of the Granite Game Summit, granitegamesummit.com, and at G2 Summit on Twitter as well.
AKA
Bill's
birthday party.
April 7th through the 9th in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Exactly.
Didn't you also just appear on Board Games?
I did today. Dropped. Yeah, I did.
Because I also am on that show, so let me plug that one while I'm at it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Full circle, baby. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and the chaos that ensued tonight. You had to know that this was going to be a little bit of a sideways mess, but there's nothing wrong with that. We will catch you all. Exactly. We'll catch you all again next week. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.
bye.